So the JBL Go 4 is a great little speaker. I've reviewed it before, and if you want compact sound, this has been pretty much one of my go-to speakers. However, Soundcore have now released this, the Select 4 Go, which has a very similar design, but it goes louder and it's half the price. So should you get the Go 4 or forego the Go 4 and get the 4 Go? Let's compare them and find out. First, I want to look at the physical design of these, because this is probably where the biggest similarity or the most obvious similarity lies. They've both got big logos on the front, so JBL on this one and the Soundcore logo on this one. They're both covered in a speaker grill fabric which goes from front to back. You've got these rubberized strips on the back of the Go 4 to stop it moving around on a table, whereas for the Soundcore you've got these 4 rubber nubbins that does the same thing. They both have these little loops on the end as well, so you can attach these to a carabiner and then hang them off whatever you want. Or you can lie them flat, or you can sit them up like this, and having that versatility on what's supposed to be a portable speaker is pretty good. Size-wise, the Soundcore is larger than the JBL, with the Soundcore being about an inch longer than the JBL and just a little bit taller. So that size does play out in the weight as well. So the JBL Go 4 is 190 grams, whereas the Soundcore Select 4 Go is 265. In reality though, whilst that's heavier, neither of these are really heavyweight speakers. The more compact size of the Go 4 though does mean it's easier for putting it in your pocket. So the controls on both of these are very similar as well. You've got volume up and volume down. You've got a button in the middle which does play, pause, skip forward and skip backwards as well. The Soundcore one also has the Bluetooth pairing and the on-off button at the top as well. And the Go 4 has the on-off switch and the Bluetooth pairing button on the side. It also has this extra Auracast button, and I'll get to what that does later. Bluetooth wise, you've got 5.4 and 5.3. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. They both also support multi-point, so you can be connected to more than one device at the same time, and they both have stereo pairing, so you can pair both of these up with another one of them to have true left and right stereo pairing. You obviously can't connect these two together though. So that button I talked about earlier, that Auracast button on the side here, that allows this to pair up or sync up with a pretty much infinite number of speakers so they can all play the same music at the same time. Now, you might think it's similar to sort of JBL's Party Boost and other features that like Ultimate Ears and others have had, but it's a Bluetooth standard pretty much. So it's not even just linked or limited to JBL only speakers. I've had this paired up with a pair of Earfun earbuds and this speaker at the same time playing the same music. So if you want to start building up like a multi-speaker joining home setup, whatever you want to do, then this is a really good starting point for that. I think honestly though, it's more useful in larger speakers because these are so small, they're more for personal travel than they are for setting up this sort of big multi-speaker environment. Still, it's nice to have the option on the speaker. Now, both of these are exactly the same from a waterproof perspective. They are both IP67 rated, so they're both dustproof and waterproof. You can put them both submerged in a meter of water for up to 30 minutes and it's fine, but they're not really going to need that because both of these float. So if you lose them off the edge of a boat or chuck them in a pool, they're going to be easy to fish out. Battery life wise, there is a significant difference between these two. So the JBL Go 4 has 7 hours of battery life, and it can cheat a little bit by turning on Party Time Boost. So that basically kills any of the bass in the sound signature and gives you an extra 2 hours of playtime, but it kills the sound, so I wouldn't actually use it. So it's a max of 9 hours. In reality, it's 7. None of that matters though, because the Soundcore Select 4 Go has up to 20 hours of battery life, and that's really impressive for a speaker of this size. And when you do need to charge these speakers, the JBL Go 4 charges using the USB-C port on the side. That will take 3 hours to charge. And the Soundcore, well, you can charge it using the USB-C. It's hidden under this flap here, and the USB-C port is under there. That takes 4 hours to charge because it is a longer battery. So neither of these charge particularly quickly. One thing to note with the Soundcore though is that you really do need to make sure that that flap is down. Otherwise you lose the waterproofness of the speaker. Whereas with the JBL, it doesn't matter because it's waterproof and sealed even though it's open. Kind of pros and cons to that one, because it does mean that if you do get this wet, you have to wait till the port dries out before you start charging again. Whereas the Soundcore one, because it's protected by the flap, you can pretty much start charging it straight away. If you are looking for a travel speaker that allows you to take calls though, neither of these have a mic. What these do both have though is mobile app support, so you can use the corresponding mobile app for both of these speakers to go and do firmware updates of these speakers, or you can select one of the preset EQs, or you can jump into the custom EQ for both of these speakers. There's a 5-band EQ on the Go 4, but there's a 9-band EQ on the Select 4 Go. Move on to the sound specs and the sound test in a minute, and on paper these are very similar. They both have a 45mm full range driver and a passive radiator inside them. And the JBL Go 4 has a frequency range of 90Hz to 20 kHz. When it comes to the Soundcore though, no matter how hard I tried, I could not find out the frequency response of this speaker. So you'll hear how well it does or doesn't sound when we get to the sound test. From a volume perspective though, the Soundcore does win here, because whilst the Go 4 goes up to 4.2 watts, which is pretty impressive considering its size, the Soundcore one will go up to 5 watts. Now you know what the specs like on paper, I think it's probably time for you to hear what they sound for yourself. Now do bear in mind that you are watching a video of a recording through this mic on these speakers, so it's not as good as being in the room, but hopefully gives you a rough indication of how good these speakers are.
Something real, something raw, not accidental, no I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door, but what's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what I bought. Lying, nothing in the core. Buying, yeah, what for? But I do what I need to, always sure. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door. What's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what I bought. Lying, nothing in the core. Buying, yeah, what for? But I do what I need to, always sure.
Dressing up, fixing my stride.
So how do you think they sounded, and which one did you prefer? Let me know in the comments down below. Personally, I thought that the JBL sounded bassier, however I thought that the mids and the highs were more detailed in the Soundcore. Having said that, I thought the Soundcore was more open. It sounded like it was coming from a larger speaker, whereas I found that the JBL just sounded a lot smaller. It sounded like your music was coming from a small speaker, whereas with the Soundcore it didn't. Neither of these sounded good when you push them to max volume, and I pretty much say that for most speakers anyway, so these are best played at low to mid volume, which is still more than loud enough for personal listening or listening with a bunch of mates. So before today, I would have said if you're looking for a cheap, portable Bluetooth speaker that sounded pretty good for its size, then the JBL Go 4 was a pretty good option. But with the release of the Soundcore Select 4 Go, whilst it doesn't go as bassy as the Go 4, it does go louder, and it's half the price. It's only $25. This is going to sell like cupcakes. I will leave purchase links to both of these in the description down below so that you can check them both out for yourself. If you want to check out some more speaker options though, then be sure to check out the links up here. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.